Is LIV Golf here to stay, or would it be forgotten after the debut tournament? So far, the Breakaway Series has held its ground against the PGA Tour strongly. However, with a legal showdown about to begin, the future of LIV Golf is still unclear. Luckily, the LIV Golf CEO has addressed the fear surrounding the franchise's future. So in today's video, we'll talk about CEO Greg Norman being confident in LIV Golf's future. First off, what does LIV Golf CEO Greg Norman have to say about the future of LIV Golf? We'd have to give it to the LIV Golf that they put up a befitting fight against the rival franchises. From facing harsh criticism to bracing through the full weight of an alliance of well-established tours, LIV Golf has surpassed all expectations. However, there's still doubts in golf enthusiasts whether the series would be a regular feature or not. Because let's face it, while the LIV Golf has managed to establish a foothold in the golf world, it still has miles to go. Recently, the top man at the LIV Golf administration, Greg Norman, addressed the air of uncertainty surrounding the Rebel Series' future and told the fans that they should have faith in the organization. While talking to Piers Morgan, he remarked optimistically that the biggest split in the golfing world would sort itself out soon. For those who believe that the statement might be a bit too optimistic, Greg also followed his optimism with a realistic final state. He added that at some point in the future, the situation would finally stabilize only after a restructuring of power in the golf world. Having said that, the legendary former golfer also stated that the animosity against the franchise had been one-sided. He's of the view that it wasn't treated rightly on the scene by the golf powers. Greg revealed that the newfound series reached out to the European Tour and the PGA Tour in bids to integrate itself into the existing system. People at the LIV Golf were of the view that the organization would be beneficial for the sport. However, instead of a warm embrace, they're welcomed by the sound of war horns. Moving on, his take on the criticism from the PGA Tour players. We can't stress the importance of securing healthy reviews from the golf players enough, because at the end of the day, in any sport, it's the players who bring a franchise to life by adding thrill to it. It's true that the series has managed to bag some of the most prominent names on the PGA Tour. However, there are still people who continue to criticize the series for one reason or another. During the broadcast with Piers, Norman also talked about the criticism from those die-hard PGA members and commented that they shouldn't be so critical of the series and players who've decided to join it. He also added that it's a shame that some of the most respectable names in the golf world held a grudge against those who joined the franchise. He also remarked that both rival tours did the same thing for the restructuring that the series had on the table for its player from day one. His statement hinted at a recent move by the PGA Tour to increase the amount of guaranteed money for its players, something that he believed wasn't coincidental at all. Norman was of the opinion that the arrival of the LIV Golf on the professional scene brought ease to players. Those who signed up for the tournament were happy, and those who wouldn't join the LIV ended up being happier too. Ultimately, he believed LIV to be a healthy addition to the golf world that benefited players and fans alike. Now for why does Norman believe that the LIV would be a recurring feature? First of all, he's the CEO of the organization, so why won't he have faith in his own thing? But more importantly, Greg had it figured out rightly that the players were undoubtedly happier that the LIV Golf popped up on the radar. Like, why wouldn't they? The LIV Golf has its players loaded up with money, and the PGA Tour has significantly raised the prize purses of its tournaments in response. It's a win-win situation for the men huddled in both camps. Remember when we said relationships with its players mattered a lot for any franchise? So that's why Greg might actually be right on this. Moreover, the power struggle between the tour and the series was at its peak during the early days. Despite the bans and suspensions of memberships, the Rebel Series still managed to pull many good players. It wouldn't be wrong to say that the franchise has grown relatively stronger with each passing day. If it's been able to weather through the worst storm, chances are it'd be around for a foreseeable future. However, how things actually play out in the future, only time will tell. Next up, the biggest impediment that threatens LIV Golf's future. While it's true that the LIV Golf managed to score a huge number of high-profile signups, whether they'd be able to retain those players is a different story. Money has been the deciding factor for jumping ships for many players on the LIV roster. However, LIV Golf has a number of star golfers who'd find it hard to stick with the series if the matter of ranking points isn't resolved sooner. Cameron Smith, the former world number 2, signed up with the series towards the end of this season. However, he's already lost his second place on the official world world golf rankings. LIV Golf is already fighting the legal battle over inclusion of its events in the ranking system. Nevertheless, it seems likely that the matter won't be resolved for quite some time. That's probably the biggest impediment in LIV Golf's status as a permanent feature. Coming up next, some other news. First off, Ryan Fox came out to be the winner at St. Andrews. The Alfred Dunhill Links Championship concluded recently, and the veteran golfer from New Zealand, Ryan Fox, came out to be the winner, leading the second-place finishers by a mere 1 shot. Toward the start of the round, Ryan trailed behind English Richard Mansell by 4 shots. However, Mansell struggled in the game and ended up finishing 7th. As for Fox, he managed to post a 15 under 68 shots to win the championship. FedEx Cup champion Rory McIlroy finished 4th in the tournament, just 1 shot behind Shinkwin and Noren, who ended up sharing the 2nd place. Fox scored 4 birdies on his front 9 and managed to bag 3 more afterward. Having shot 3 bogeys, he ended the day 4 under. Noren and Shinkwin were trailing behind closely in contention, however. Fox posted a par on the 18th hole that secured the victory for him. Now, for Swedish Golf Federation cuts its ties with Henrik Stenson. The Swedish Golf Federation recently made a rather strict announcement that has been making rounds on the internet ever since. The federation officially cut ties with Henrik Stenson over his involvement with the LIV Golf Series. Stenson is a decorated golfer with a British Open and 6-time PGA Tour wins to his name. Secretary General for the federation, Gunnar Håkansson, recently made a statement that Stenson's involvement in the Breakaway Series wasn't appropriate as a role model in their golf activities. He also added that considering his ties with the LIV Golf, he couldn't act as a role model for junior Swedish golfers. Stenson immediately took to social media to express his disappointment over the episode, stating that it's hurtful that the federation didn't want their financial support through the Henrik Stenson Foundation. However, the star golfer added that he continued to work for the development of junior and para golf in Sweden. Ian Poulter instantaneously jumped in to support Stenson after the announcement and tweeted that he's disappointed with the decision. He also hoped that the federation would come to see this as a wrong move. Lastly, Phil Mickelson has dropped his lawsuit against the PGA Tour. Phil Mickelson and 3 other golfers have reportedly got their names removed from the antitrust lawsuit against the PGA Tour. Sources revealed that Taylor Gooch, Hudson Swafford, and Ian Poulter filed separate motions to have their names removed from the lawsuit. Currently, there remain only 4 plaintiffs in the lawsuit, to include LIV Golf, Bryson DeChambeau, Peter Unlein, and Matt Jones. The lawsuit had 11 players on it when it's filed back in August. While it's truly shocking to hear this, Mickelson's backflip was never a surprise. The golfer said it out loud a few days back that he no longer needed to fight the legal battle because LIV Golf had joined the lawsuit as a plaintiff. He stated that there's no reason for him to stay on the lawsuit because he didn't want anything to do with the damages. He also added that he just believed in the idea that a player should be allowed to play wherever they wanted, something that'd be accomplished on its own as and when LIV Golf won. Mickelson had been acting as one of the chief recruiters for the series and its CEO, Greg Norman. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts about the future of LIV Golf? Would it be able to grow? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.